Hi there, Dan here from Gardenstead, and today we're at Wheelbarrow Farm, which is an organic vegetable CSA farm just about an hour northeast of Toronto. And today we're going to meet Austin Michel, who is a former chef turned farmer. So let's go meet Austin.
I always grew up like going to my grandparents' farm in BC. I'd spend my summers out there. And then later on, I ended up finding a passion for food. And that led me into going to culinary school and becoming a chef. I eventually decided that cooking wasn't quite it for me. So then I moved into butchery actually, and I did full animal butchery for about 3 years. And I was having a lot of problems with just like the food system bases off of actually the education of what people are seeing from what they're actually getting. I kind of figured the best way to get into the whole root of the problem was to come and farm. When I was a kid, my biggest memory is just going out and harvesting to eat, basically. That was my grandparents' biggest thing, is whatever was going to be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you had to go out there and you'd have to go harvest. But I think that's where I really found that kind of passion for food, was really actually being able to eat things right out of the ground. And even when I was a chef, I found that was a huge setback for me, is I'd get out into these beautiful restaurants and I'd be expecting this produce to be beautiful, and it just wasn't that same food memory I had from when I was a little kid and eating it right on the farm. I grew up in a basement apartment in kind of downtown Toronto, and we had it was maybe 6 feet by 2 feet, this little garden bed, and my dad would fill it with tomatoes and cucumbers and all these kind of things, and I'd be out there all the time, and that was one of my favorite things to do. And we'd teach me how to weed properly and how to harvest all sorts of different things, and those things I totally forgot. And I got out here, and when Tony was showing me how to pick something, all of a sudden it came right back to me, and it was this is how you do it. Yeah.
I'll learn from your dad.
Yeah, I'll learn from my dad and my grandparents, basically. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things that my father really taught me is just to kind of respect the plant and respect the whole earth around that plant. So that's a big thing, and one of the reasons why I came to this farm is that it's all organic and we're not spraying and pushing chemicals. So it's like I said, if the better your ground is, the better everything is going to taste, right? So if you got really, really good dirt, then you're going to have really sweet strawberries and things like that. All the time you just go into a grocery store and you don't see where it's actually coming from, or how much work goes into something like that. And even having that little bit of garden and getting your hands in that dirt is a huge difference for how you actually look at the food that you're eating. And I think if you could just experience taking something out of your garden, you probably wouldn't want to buy those super cheap discount veggies, because it's not really worth it. And those foods come from the other side of the world, and that leads into the whole climate crisis and all sorts of other reasons. But I think it's just more than anything to fix the whole food culture we have, especially here in the big city in Toronto, is just grow a little bit of food.
Your internship, you're 3 months in now, and how are you finding it?
I'm loving it, to be honest. I mean, it's definitely a big difference from being in the city my whole life. So I definitely think that I kind of found my calling, and I really enjoy just being in the country, being with all these beautiful veggies, and the only sound that you can hear is birds right now. You can't really complain with that, right? Yeah.
All right, so one more question.
Yep.
Do you have space for another intern here
Yeah,
at Wheelbarrow Farm?
Yeah, you can start
Asking
right
for
now.
a friend.
Yeah, you can start right now. Come on.